So, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you have been following the channel are well aware, we've passed the 100-day mark of the Jackie Vautour sacred fire at Kouchibouguac, where members of the Vautour family, in tribute to Jackie's efforts to recognize the illegality and collusion regarding the expropriation of land there to make a national park, done by Premier Robichaud and Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau in the late 60s, early 70s. There was a very interesting article before the 100 days by a very good writer, Dallas McQuarrie, of the New Brunswick Media Co-op.org. Now, Co-op Media NB is basically an independent media in the province that does articles that the mainstream media or the corporate media doesn't want to touch. Now, McQuarrie published the article September 4th, 2024, and we're going to do a narration of the article, and all credit goes to nbmediacoop.org. Please check them out. Now, according to McQuarrie's article, despite concrete barriers and ditches put in place in early April 2023 by Parks Canada staff and the RCMP, members of the Jackie Vautour family have re-established a family camp in Kouchibouguac National Park. The Vautour camp, near the mouth of Rankin Brook on Route 117 through the park, is ground zero in a land dispute spanning more than half a century. From 69 to 72, land for the park was expropriated from 228 families, affecting about 1,200 people. Now, McQuarrie did not mention, but 8 or 9 communities were disbanded to make the park in that 69 onward area. Now, according to McQuarrie, resentment over the way the expropriation was handled is evident to this day, both from those who remember the original eviction from their land and from their descendants. While others left the park, Jackie Vautour's family refused to move and has lived by the Rankin Brook ever since. When Jackie died in 2021, some of his children and grandchildren continued living there until the camp was taken down. It was bulldozed last year. Now, for many Acadians, Jackie is a hero remembered for his unyielding refusal to give up his family home. Courtney Vautour, Jackie's granddaughter, played a lead role in reestablishing the camp. Now, most of the people that were expelled were what Courtney mentions as mixed blood. We call Metis and Acadian or Acadian Metis. But Courtney has been making some very important statements since then and during the week of the information session that they had at the site on Monday, October 7th. Now, according to Courtney, the number of people at the camp varies, with about a dozen or so usually around, she said. Food and other supplies are being provided by people in the area, usually Acadians and Métis, and often the descendants of the families whose land was taken during the creation of the park. Now, Vautour said the case of her ancestral land is still before the courts. She says the family has the original bill of sale for the land, and that document says Jackie Vautour's heirs would not be deprived of the land. Again, the sacred fire is now burning at the camp, and the Vautours intend to keep it going until there's a resolution to the conflict. Now, over the summer, numerous members of the family, both Jackie's kids and grandkids, including Courtney, were served with charges about making the sacred fire at the park. That's allegedly coming up in 2024, but Courtney has said it in public statements on Facebook. They were just doing that to scare us. He said they have nobody thinks that the charges will ever stick. Vautour says she's also very angry about her aging father being physically assaulted at a camp this spring. My father was alone mowing the grass at a campsite out of respect for his father Jackie, Vautour said. Park officials arrived and said he wasn't allowed to mow grass. When her father continued mowing, they tackled him to the ground. The incident has done nothing to help resolve the dispute. While the situation seems stable, 3 years after Jackie Vautour's death, Parks Canada decided to break the impasse. On April 9, 2023, in a move that took many by surprise, Parks Canada staff and RCP removed the Vautour home, some vehicles and sheds from the campsite, and bulldozed it. Over the next 48 hours, concrete barriers were put in place and ditches dug in hopes of blocking access to Vautour camp. On Canada Day, the Vautour family and supporters re-established the now historic camp. Now, for Courtney, the land in question is ancestral land that has been in her family for generations. She wants to see the dispute resolved in court and not by the sudden deployment of government force. Today, more than 50 years later, after Kouchibouguac National Park was created, resentment remains of what many remember as a fundamentally unfair expropriation of land for the park. A mass is celebrated at Cemetery at Clairefontaine in the park each year to remember the now deceased residents who lost their land. The church at that site burned to the ground during the original expropriation process. To this day, some believe the church was deliberately burned to pressure people to move out of the area to make way for the park. Now, the NB Media Co-op called Kouchibouguac National Park on Friday, August 31st. A spokesperson returned a call on Tuesday, September 2nd, and said someone from Parks Canada would likely contact the writer. Now, Dallas McCrory, again, is an NB Media Co-op journalist living in the unceded Mi'kmaq territory of Signatuck. Now, what Courtney is doing, and what a lot of members of the Vautour are doing, they're telling the story handed down to them about the expropriation. I'm an Acadian Métis from the North Shore of New Brunswick. I don't have any direct relation to the Vautour family, but what Jackie did inspired non-status Indians across the province, including my home region of Gravel Hill, Lorne, Jacket River, to seek out the reasons why Jackie Vautour was fucked over in all the families in regarding to the expropriation. Now, according to Louis Robichaud, who was an Acadian Métis, by the way, so he was a self-hater, they were doing that to help create jobs in the region because they were job strapped. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There was people all those families were buying local, they were buying gas, doing all type of things to benefit themselves. They were benefiting the economy. To determine their future, that they would all get work in the park and you don't know enough about your land. Sounds kind of familiar, does it? Usually the white people would do that in the States and Canada and put our people on reservations. But this was an Acadian Métis, or as Charlie Van Horn called him, a half-breed, whatever you want to call it. Courtney mentions the term mixed blood, which is true. We're a mixed ancestry, some Acadian, and in some cases some Madawaska too. Some Indians on the northwest side, there's Madawaska blood in O'Brien as well. So you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very simple solution. Recognize the era, compensate either monetarily or spiritually by apologizing, and we can move forward with the reconciliation. We, as Acadian Métis, did not create the situation. The minions of Louis Robichaud and Pierre Trudeau colluded to come on the land and kick all the people off. And like my old statement goes, the area that was expropriated is about the size of the Woodstock zone in Carleton County, which includes Jacksonville and Lower and Upper Woodstock. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, in 1969, a bunch of people coming in to take over that land to make something called Carleton Park or Carleton North Park? Can you imagine the backlash? It's lucky that the people weren't armed. These were just simple folk like most rural non-status Indians are. They worked the land. They were seasonal workers, worked in the woods, fishermen. Good thing the Vautour family is not a Vautour family. I know quite a few of them over the years, but like push comes to shove, they were wrong. They don't want to apologize. And you got people like Courtney, that's generational trauma. That's a third generation. And her family as well, fourth, fifth generation of generational trauma created by a federal and provincial government that basically thought they knew better than everybody else. So Dallas did a good job on the article. I thank you, Dallas. Good to see a young journalist taking up some of the baton that we need. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody wants to reach me regarding any podcast or anything you want to do, you can contact me. My business number, 506-272-1880 in Canterbury, New Brunswick. I call it Gravel Hill South. Or on Hotmail at govcarrier, govcarrier at hotmail.com. So this is dedicated to Courtney. She's been a strong fighter in this campaign. She made some very good comments on Monday in relation to the information session. Please check out Ensemble pour la Justice, Together for Justice, on Facebook. Jackie's son Edmond and other family members run the site. Again, Rocky Vautour as well, Maureen Vautour, some strong, Jackie's family is a very strong family. I'm honored to be able to do some publicity for them, good publicity. I'm doing this not for the glory of the Acadian Métis in the whole province, because you're an Aboriginal person. The only glory you have is respect to the elders. I never had the opportunity to meet Jackie, but I know Jackie's looking down and basically saying, in no shape or form, never give up. Never give up what you are. Because Jackie didn't give up, and those who supported Jackie, it's 55 years. If it takes another 40 years, we're going to be here. So it'd be better to apologize now before the eye of history. Basically, we're going to give you a black eye. The eye of history is on us, and we're the good people, and you're giving history a black eye. The Parks Canada, the RCMP. By the way, I would ask these people, Parks Canada and the RCMP that showed up, do you look in the mirror at night and you're arresting people that's trying to say your bosses did it wrong 55 years ago? Do you feel good about yourself? I like to have an open debate. At a public event, we'll just do a debate. You wouldn't last 5 seconds. It will go like this. You're a federal government official upholding an illegal act. So you're breaking the law. Not your law, but spiritual law, First Nation law. The first law of First Nations were united. You don't divide us just because you got a piece of paper. I don't need no status card. I'm a Métis. I know who I am. Okay? Do you know who you are? Those people that formed charges in July and intimidated people and harassed people. Do you feel good about what you did? Do you look in the mirror at night? I hope you cash your check. You lay on a bed of shame, because that's what I think you should be laying on. You know, shame on you. Like I said, I'm 59 years old, a journalist for 41 years, and 41 years I'm covering this. It's got to end one of these days. You want to take away the negativity of what you guys did, drop the charges for one, and apologize. Very simple. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody needs to give me a like, comment, subscribe, or share, please do so. Bye.